Rain came down in thin silver lines that night, soaking the quiet streets of a small, forgotten town. At the corner gas station, the lights flickered weakly, illuminating a rust-red sedan that coughed more smoke than exhaust. Behind the wheel sat Martha Jenkins, 72, hands trembling as she counted the coins in her purse. $10. That was all she had left until her next check, 10 wrinkled, precious dollars that had to last her 3 days. Her stomach ached, but she smiled anyway. She had learned long ago that life didn't owe her kindness, so she tried to give what little she had. She'd been a widow for 10 years, her only son gone overseas, and her small pension barely covered rent and canned soup, but she never complained. As she stepped out of the car, she heard the distant roar of engines, low, growling, powerful. A group of bikers rolled into the station, leather-clad and soaked from the storm. Most people would have turned away, but Martha just smiled faintly. She'd served in a diner half her life. She knew the look of tired men trying to act tougher than they felt. One of them, a tall, broad man with a scar across his jaw, dismounted his Harley and kicked at the wet pavement. His bike sputtered, then died completely. "Great," he muttered. "Battery's toast." Martha glanced over, clutching her small umbrella. "Having trouble, son?" He looked up, surprised that anyone, especially a fragile old woman, was talking to him. "Yeah, ma'am. Dead battery, and I left my wallet at the bar. Guess I'm walking to town." Martha hesitated. $10. That was all she had. But something about the exhaustion in his voice pulled at her heart. She reached into her purse and pressed the bills into his hand. "Here, it's not much, but it'll get you what you need." He blinked. "Ma'am, I can't take this." "Of course you can," she said softly. "You remind me of my boy. He was in the service. I always hoped if he ever got stuck somewhere, someone would help him too." He stared at her for a long moment, the rain running down his face. "What's your name?" "Martha." He nodded, taking the money slowly. "Thank you, Miss Martha. I won't forget this," and she smiled faintly. "Don't worry about me. Just pay it forward." When she drove off into the night, she didn't know that those simple words would echo louder than she could imagine. The next morning, Martha woke to the sound of engines, dozens of them shaking the air like thunder. She rushed to the window thinking it was a parade, but what she saw made her knees buckle. 50 motorcycles lined her small gravel driveway, their riders standing silent in the morning mist. At the front was the same man from last night, now clean, wearing a black leather vest with a silver emblem on the back that read, "Iron Souls Motorcycle Club." Martha opened her front door, clutching her robe around her. "Good heavens," she gasped. What is this?" The man stepped forward, smiling gently. "You probably don't remember me, ma'am. I'm Jack. You gave me $10 last night when I had nothing." Martha chuckled nervously. "Oh, don't be silly. It was just $10. He shook his head. "Ma'am, to you it was $10. To me it was hope. I got back to my crew and told them about you. How some stranger in the rain helped a broke biker without hesitation. And we decided we weren't going to let that kind of heart go unrewarded." Before she could reply, 2 riders wheeled a brand new electric scooter up her driveway, gleaming and spotless. "We know your car's been acting up," Jack said. "This'll get you to town safe. It's all yours." Martha's hand flew to her mouth. "Oh, my lord, I can't accept this." "You can," he said firmly. "And there's more." Behind him, another rider handed her a thick envelope. Inside was a check, $25,000, made out to her name. "That's from all of us," Jack said. "We took up a collection. Some of the guys run auto shops, others own transport companies. You reminded us that kindness still exists, and we figured it was time to give it back." Martha's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll keep being you," Jack replied. "That's enough." The whole crew cheered softly, their engines rumbling like applause. Martha laughed through her tears, her heart pounding with disbelief and joy. Later that afternoon, she invited them all into her small backyard. The men and women parked their bikes neatly along the fence, their laughter filling the air as she poured sweet tea and passed around cookies she'd baked months ago and kept frozen for special occasions. Jack sat across from her, his scar catching the sunlight. "You know," he said quietly, "I lost my mom when I was a kid. Never thought I'd feel that kind of warmth again. But when you looked at me last night, it felt like home." Martha smiled, her voice trembling. Then maybe that's what we both needed, son. A reminder that family isn't always blood. As the afternoon stretched into golden evening, the bikers began to leave one by one, honking their horns and waving as they disappeared down the road. When the last of them was gone, Martha stood by her new scooter, tears shining in her eyes. For the first time in years, she didn't feel invisible. She didn't feel forgotten. The world, it seemed, still had room for goodness, and she had been the spark that lit it. That night, when she sat by her window watching the sunset, her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. It was Jack. A picture of the whole biker crew lined up outside her house, smiling, holding a banner that read, "For Martha, proof that kindness still rides." She laughed softly, wiping her tears. Then she whispered to the empty room, "Guess I did something right after all, Harold." The photo stayed framed on her mantel from that day on, right beside her late husband's picture. And every time the distant sound of motorcycles echoed through town, Martha would smile, knowing that somewhere out there, 50 riders rode with her name in their hearts. Because sometimes, it only takes $10 to change 50 lives, and one act of kindness to remind the world what love still looks like.